Welcome to my cut flower and veggie garden. The arbor you see here is covered with a David Austin, James Galway climbing rose, and she usually blooms very profusely. As you enter the garden, I have 8 raised beds in here, mostly flowers and some veggies. Here you see what I call my daddy peppers. They're cayenne peppers my father used to always grow for my mother, so I've carried on the tradition. There are many flowers in here. My zinnias, these beautiful rudbeckias, a little alyssum that I like to use as accent and sometimes just a flower for beauty. Some lisianthus, some in bloom, and some buds waiting to bloom. This is the second flush for that cut and come again. More zinnias all budded up and ready to go. Spent irises down there. Basil for cooking. Some more Rebecca that I grew from seed. As we pan over a little bit, we see more zinnias just waiting to pop. I love these for the middle to later summer. There's some bee balm over there that did not bloom for me this year, so maybe next year. I have roses in this spot also. I see some new red foliage, so I'll get some new blooms pretty soon. That giant plant is a Greek basil, and it has taken over that corner, and I let it because the pollinators love it so much. My cucumber is still producing beautifully. I'll show you up close in a minute, even though the leaves may be a little unsightly. So as we turn and go back the other way, I make my way past this humongous pepper plant that's taller than I am. Over to this bed where I have lots of Dara and this beautiful zigzag pepper. It's an ornamental pepper. Let's see, is there a pepper on here? Yes, they're purple, just starting to form up, but I love the foliage on this plant. Lots of Dara in this bed, and I love the Dara when they are new flowers, but also when they're forming seeds. They make very interesting parts to a flower arrangement. There's celosia in this bed, straw flower, which is another cut and come again. There were stock in this area. There were also snapdragons that are still blooming just a little bit. There's some lemon basil in this bed. And like I said, plenty of Dara. It self-seeds and just comes up. And I let it, especially because it's purple. That's one of my favorite colors. This is a basil plant that gives me lots of beautiful fragrance right here. It's called Blue Spice. The pollinators love it, and it has a very unique smell to it. I love to brush past it. Another rose there. Up close of this very unsightly cucumber, but like I said, it's still producing fruit, so I'm going to let it be for now. In this bed, I have some heirloom chrysanthemums that I'm hoping will bloom beautifully in the fall. I have a few in this bed, and I have several in another bed. This is an up close of that Greek basil. It is the best bloomer, and it's kind of in a globe shape. Here is some Nicotiana, which is a perennial for me in my zone 8A. The pollinators love it. More zinnias over there. These were the dwarf variety, and I was hoping they wouldn't lean over, but with the rain and a little bit of wind, they did, but it's okay. Through there, I have my herb bed, and it also has a few medicinal herbs in there, including feverfew and holy basil. Back there is my dahlia bed and some spent lilies, just letting them soak in all the energy they need for blooming next year. So as we make our way back around my rose, I do have to trim this little walkway here so that I can get through. I used cardboard and cedar mulch in that area to try to keep the weeds down. This was a trough that had daffodils in it earlier. Here is a part shade hanging basket that I really like. It has sweet potato vine in it and some impatiens. There's fig trees over here, raspberries, and that is a hibiscus that I'm hoping to be able to make tea from. So we'll see how it will do. Back past my dahlias, going back the other way, we've got some more spent lilies over here, and these bloomed so beautifully this year, so I'm letting them get all the energy they need from those stalks. My Olivia rose is putting on some new growth, so hopefully more buds that way. And this is the bed that has more heirloom chrysanthemums. I'm waiting for those to bloom for me beautifully in the fall. Here is a jalapeno pepper plant, and I've been collecting lots of jalapenos on here to make cowboy candy when I get enough. Just slice them up and put them in the freezer until I get enough. And again, my beautiful cayenne peppers turning red. And I like to string these up and hang them in the kitchen. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.